Alright, what's new everyone? Today I'm going to be installing the Wyze Video Doorbell V2. I did the unboxing video earlier. I'll put a link here, you can go watch it. I'm going to be using a power supply to simulate what would be coming through the doorbell. It's a 24 volt 1 amp power supply, which matches what kind of the maximum doorbell requires. It came with this adapter. I also got the wood panel here, which is going to simulate where you install the doorbell. I got pre-drilled hole that I'm going to feed the wires through, drill, screwdriver, and drill bits. Figure out what size we need later. Alright, let's get this guy out of the box. I have the quick start guide here. It has instructions for how we were supposed to mount it. There's one thing I want to point out. It doesn't go top to bottom. You'll see that starts with step 4 there, installation. If you open it up all the way, it goes left to right. That way. So left to right. And you start with the installation actually over here. And then it jumps down to the bottom left over there once you get that far. So we're going to be starting over here on step 1. It says to use anchors. I'm not going to be using anchors. I'm just going to put my screws directly into the wood here. But if you need anchors, just make sure you drill a slightly bigger hole. It says place the wall plate at your desired mounting location and mark the screw holes. Remove the wall plate, then drill the screw holes and insert the wall anchors. It's followed by installing the wall plate. You can use the anchored or the flush. And then we go up here. It says to install a wedge if you needed. And then down here you actually attach the wires using the wire nuts. There's not room on the back of the doorbell, so those do have to be pushed back into the wall. I'd recommend using electrical tape. Alright, so let's get started with drilling our holes here. Now we need to get out the screws. So we'll open the box here. Don't need our doorbell just yet, so we'll set it aside up here. Here's the mounting plates. There's the wire extenders and our hardware that we'll need today. The wire extender, the wire nuts, and okay, we got our screws. Also got the anchors, which I will not be using. And then the last in the box is the doorbell chime controller, which if you're going to use that, you attach it directly to the door chime inside. I'm not going to be doing that part. And then you see our box is empty. We'll go ahead and set that to the side. Don't need that anymore. Let's get our mounting hardware out of the wrapper. Alright, we got the wedge plate here, and we got the the wall plate, the flat wall plate. So if we're following the instructions, it said put your wall plate at the desired mounting location. That's about where I want it. Then we'll need to get our screws out. It comes with 2 sets of screws. If you're using the wedge plate, you'll need both sets of screws. Otherwise, I'm just going to use the longer set here. The short screws are used to attach the wall plate to the wedge. Alright, let's figure out what size drill bit we need. Let's start by getting the 30-seconds out. It's a little bit smaller than 1/8. Line that up, it looks like that's about right. So I'll go ahead and put that in my drill here. Looks good. Now we need to mark where the screws, I want to drill the holes. I'll just put a mark right there. Put a mark in the middle, down at the bottom. That should be sufficient for me to see. Just want something that you can see. You also are going to make sure that it's level, both top and sides. So let me go grab a level real quick. Alright, got my level here. Wow. Try and eyeball it, make it straight. Gonna check with the level. This isn't gonna level because I have it laying flat on the table. It's gonna tell you if my table is level. But you're gonna want to check the sides to get that straightened out. And then once you got the sides straight, you're gonna check the top. Make sure that's good. And once that is good, I want to hold it steady and then mark your mark where you're going to drill the holes. Mine looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and drill where I got it marked here. I'm not going to drill all the way through because I don't want holes on my table. So let me go just take it off the table and drill those real quick. Now that I got my holes all the way drilled through, I can now attach the wall plates. If you're doing this on the wall, you're going to want to feed the doorbell wires through the wall plate before you, well, you're going to have to before you attach it. I'm going to swap out my bit here. Put on a Phillips head. I found that the screws are number 1 size. The Phillips head bits that normally come with the drill are number 2. They'll work also. I think number 2 is what I'm using here, but my screwdriver up there is a number 1. If you're doing the wedge plate, it actually fits inside the wedge there. So if you're doing the wedge plate here, what you'll want to do is put the flat part against the wall and attach that with screws, and then your wall plate will slide right in there. And then you can attach it with the smaller screws. We're not using the wedge plate though, so let's go ahead and get our wall plate attached. And be careful not to drill all the way through into my table here again. I'll get those turned up here in just a second once I get something to put this on. Just getting them started. I got them started. I'll go ahead and drill them all the way. And make sure they're not so tight that you're going to break the bracket. Just gonna finish up by hand tightening them here. So you see that I'm just doing it very gentle, using 2 fingers. Again, you don't want to break the wall plate. It will crack on you if you over tighten. My desk here, and let me go grab some blocks to put that on. Got a couple blocks here that I can put this on to not scratch my desk, but also it will give me room to feed the power wires through. So now that we got the wall plate attached, time to set up my power supply. So you got the 2 wires here. Good, and you should have 2 wires already feeding through. And now we need to get the wire extenders. Yes. So you'll attach them with the wire nuts they provided. Here I have the sheath cut there for you, so you can just pull that off and it will be ready to wire in for you. It just slides right off. A gentle pull and it's ready for you. So you'll take one of the wires here, doesn't matter which one. And the way I like to do it is line it up, use one end to hold it together and then twist them together. They're twisted, you get the wire nut, slide that on and finish twisting. You'll twist that until it doesn't want to twist anymore. And I'm not putting this in my wall, but if you're going to, I'd put wire tape around that connection also, just to keep it secure and make sure when you pull it out, everything comes out next time you change the door. So you do the same thing with the second one here, pull the sheath off. You're going to twist the wires together. And put your wire nut on. With those connected, you can now attach your doorbell. Step 3. On the back of the doorbell here as the 2 terminals, go good and loosen them up with your screwdriver. Enough so that you can slide the connector under between the doorbell and the head of the screw. So one thing I wanted to note here is that the doorbell appears designed that It should slide in from the bottom towards the top of the doorbell there. That is not the way they want you to do it. You actually need to slide it from the top towards the bottom. If you have them towards the bottom here, like I have right now, when you get everything tucked in, there's not room for the wires between the wall and the doorbell. So when we get everything shoved in there, benefit pulling from the other side. So once you get everything tucked in, if you had the connectors going towards the bottom, it won't connect to the wall plate because the wire's going to be angled wrong. They'll want to fold over, and there's just not room for that. So let me go ahead and get them flipped around. Now that I have the wires facing the correct way, she just slides in. And you line up the part sticking out on the wall plate, and you'll pull down. The doorbell is connected to the wall. Actually, I don't recommend attaching it until you've done the setup. But right now I'm just going to connect the power and show you that it's ready to actually set up. Plug in my adapter here. If you follow the instructions, you'll have to go turn on your breaker here. Me connecting this will simulate turning on the breaker. It's connected. It's gonna be solid orange while it boots up, and then it will start flashing once it's booted. And then you're ready for setup. I'm just going to go through this tutorial real quick on how to wire the doorbell. Okay, you connect the two terminals on the back with the Phillips head. Show you everything that comes in the box, which you can also see in my unboxing video. Tells you what you need for installation. It shows you how to connect the chime if you wish to do so. Now how to actually install the doorbell. Wait. I'll customize it based on wall plate or wedge. It's not screwed in. Connect the wires. Go back. Notice that it does have the wires facing up. Although it's designed on the back, it's like it wants it facing down, but that didn't work out. They don't have any wire rim on the back, so everything has to get tucked into the wall there. And then it turns power back on. That brings us to where we are. Flashing orange. But again, I want to remind you, don't attach it to the wall just yet, because there is a button on the back you need to press. And it's harder than it looks to get it off the wall. So that is how you install the Wyze Video Doorbell. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you'd like to see next, and we'll see you next time.